Yo, what's up, guys? How are we doing? Because I am tired, but it's okay. We got to knock out 5 fucking chapters, man. We can't let running late stop us. You know, we got to persevere. What's up, Philip? Oh, man. I am so beat, man. I had a day. What the fuck is this? That's not my music. That was definitely not my music. Yeah, what's up, guys? Talking of preserving username. I'm sorry. I think you already know what I'm gonna get at. I think you already know what I'm gonna say. Let me read 5 chapters as quickly as I can. And then if we still have time before the episode drops on Crunchyroll, we should be able to get to it. Hola, mi amigo. What's up? Scams. No chat on stream, by the way. Oh, you're right. Thank you. Yeah, man, I had a long day. I literally just got back. Oh, my goodness. I've been out way too long today. I was out a little bit longer than usual. But we're going to knock out 5 quick chapters. Me and the missus, we were going to, like, hang out and just play some Last of Us. But I'm like, all right, we'll watch it, like, at 8:30. And I'm like, no, not at 8:30. It's like, why not? I thought you wanted me to play the game. It's like, wait, but it's like, that's only 30 minutes after the episode comes out. Like, well, the episodes are 30 minutes. Like, I know, but like, I talk a lot. It's gonna take longer than 30 minutes to do the react. I was like, give me till 9 p.m. at least, woman. Is like, please. I'm like, help a brother out here, you know? She's like, I'll be there at 8:30. It's like, no. Oh, man. It's like, we'll play Last of Us. He's like, I will be in that room and we're going to play Last of Us whether you like it or not. It's like, no. So I don't know. You might see the missus playing The Last of Us on the React. We'll find out. Oh, I'm dehydrated. No chat. Will we fix chat? Chat on screen? All right, chat is on screen. All right, we're going to knock out 5 chapters. 0 stalling. Let's just jump right into it. I'm gonna do a tab for 5 chapters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Awesome. The first 000 10 out of 10 intro. All right. Negotiation with the missus. Yeah, we were negotiating like, but you want me to play Last of Us? I know, but like not during react time. It's like, well, I'm gonna play at 8:30, and I'm like, okay, I love you, honey. I don't know. I'll be honest. I will feel awkward if she's in here as sleazy geeky. It's like, oh, okay. And then if I can get these 5 chapters out the way before the episode comes out, I promise you, username, we will do it. We got an hour and 25 minutes. As long as we got time for 2 chapters, I think we can make it work. We can squeeze it in, username. If not, one unannounced stream tomorrow. I'm sorry. Make sure she never hears you call her woman. I don't know, man. I gotta be careful. With the way I talk when I'm watching this episode, she's definitely gonna get a little mad at me. So we're gonna have to choose our words carefully with whatever happens tomorrow. But let's start. I digress. Let's start recording before I forget to hit record and we stop for too long. We know that ain't happening. And with you actually reading the manhwa chapter, leave for the next stream so you can actually understand it. Okay, that might work. Yeah, I'm for people watching the videos, I'm a little late to stream today. I'm 2.5 hours late compared to our usual time. Easy sleeping on the couch arc starting now. If you guys want to know what you're talking about, make sure you tune into the live streams. All right, we are here to read 5 chapters because episode 10 of Lord of Mysteries drops in an hour and 25 minutes. We gotta knock out 5 chapters before we're late, so this is gonna be a short read through. But I digress. Chapter 1013. It's called, say it with me, guys. Are you ready? Individual growth. Our individual growth is we've reached the 1,000 plus. Now, before you guys say I'm forgetting my honorific name, I should have this memorized by now. The reader who stalls for eternity. The tamer of beasts and dogs. The one who farms LOTM. Easy, geeky. Look at that. Look, damn, that was such a badass fucking pause. You guys fucking saw that? That was fucking cinema, bro. Let's keep reading. All right, chapter 113 is called Individual Growth. The 36 Zoatland Street of the past was just filled with a cement foundation, with each floor's 2 windows forming the shape of an arc with their covers being shut. It has been the architectural trait of the post-1300s of the 5th epoch, and natural lighting wasn't very good. After its reconstruction, the bottom floor had a small sheltering porch with 2 oriel windows that extended to the 2nd floor. The thinner portion of the window frames had a wall and decorative columns that supported a thin stone beam. Above the oriel window was a parapet that connected the straight to the 3rd floor. This was a 3-story architectural style that had been made popular in recent years. His thoughts seemingly going adrift, Leonard had a feeling that he had come to the wrong place. Sorry, I just finished eating, so I'm a little bloated. After falling into a daze for about 10 seconds, he stepped into 36 Zoatland Street with a silver inlaid cane. Following that, he walked up the stairs, turned around a bend, and saw the black door of the vertical seeing board, Blackthorn Security Company. Oh my god, we haven't been here in so long, dude. What the fuck? We have not been in Blackthorn Security Company, dude, since Volume 1, dude. Oh, that is so cool. I'm sorry, this is the same one, right? 36 Zoatland Street with a silvered inlink. Like, this is the same place. Back to the... Oh my god. Oh, I got a tear in my eye, dude. This is so cool. We're actually back here. When he arrived to... Oh, dude, this is so cool. I'm getting kind of chills right now. And I'm kind of reminiscing Volume 1 over here. That's crazy we finally came back, dude. Blackthorn Security Company. When he arrived, he seemed to gradually find a sense of familiarity. He sped up his pace and pushed open the ajar door. A brown-haired girl who... Oh, is it... Wait. Oh my god, I'm forgetting her name. Angelica Roseanne. Who's the clerk? Roseanne Angelica. When he arrived, he seemed to gradually find a sense of familiarity. He sped up his pace and pushed open the ajar door. A brown-haired girl who had seen Tinkin City honest paper up vertically on the desk moved the papers to the side when she heard the unconcealed footsteps, revealing a smooth forehead, light brown eyes, and a pretty face. Good afternoon, Roseanne. Oh man, it's so cool. Leonard greeted someone hesitantly. Wow, I'm crying. We haven't seen them in so long. Man, we haven't seen them since we lost so many fucking good people in Volume 1. Holy shit. It's Roseanne, dude. Good afternoon, Roseanne. Leonard greeted somewhat hesitantly. Roseanne first wore a look of surprise before her expression fell. She said in an abnormally cold tone, "Good afternoon. Congratulations on avenging Captain Incline." Oh, man. Ah, shit. Damn, we haven't seen him in a long time. Dude, I got a tear in my eye. Congratulations on avenging Captain Incline. Oh, man, she even said Klein. Come on, man. Leonard widened his mouth at a loss for response. He didn't even press down on his top hat despite his dislike of wearing hats. He forced a smile and nodded slightly. Then he went forward in silence, passing Roseanne, planning to enter the door beyond the partition. Just as he was about to enter the office, he suddenly heard Roseanne say rather softly behind him, "Live well." Oh, man. Live well. Come on, Leonard. You gotta talk to her. Oh, wow, I'm getting emotional. Wow. I'm actually kind of emotional right now. Live well. Leonard slowed down his pace slightly before nodding his head heavily. When he entered the interior, he instantly saw Fry. Oh, come on. Standing by the captain's office. This corpse sculptor still has a paleness that resulted from the... Oh, man. Are we going to see everybody? Oh, we're Sikatron. Come on, man. We're going to see everybody now, right? Oh, shit. This corpse sculptor still has a paleness that resulted from not being under the sun for a long time. He had black hair and blue eyes, a high nose bridge, and very thin lips. He had a cold and dark demeanor. Leonard solemnly looked at him for a few seconds before exhaling, trying hard to coldly smile. Long time no see. Oh, man, this is so cool. Good after... Wow, I didn't think I was going to get emotional in this stream. Good afternoon, long time no see. Fry pointed to the captain's office. I've already received a telegram and know of your request. I'll get 2 team members to carry out the operation with you. Also, you need to fill in the sealed artifact request form. Slightly surprised, Leonard said with a smile, "You're the captain now? You aren't as silent as before?" No shot, dude. Leonard had actually finished digesting his soul azure. Wow, I got a tear in my eye. Oh, shit. Actually, I'm a little emotional. What the fuck, dude? Damn, man. He's living in... Oh no, I can't say he's living in Dun's shadow, but like, dude, he has a big seat to fill, man. Man, what a captain, man. Leonard had actually finished digesting his Soul Azure potion and could advance the sequence via Spirit Warlock. But to obtain the power of that drop of the eternal blazing sun's blood, he deliberately kept it a secret. He continued placating the souls around Backland and finally, through his hard work, and found an opportunity to come to Tinkin. Yes, Fry said with a gentle nod, actually, I don't like to speak much, but I have to do so as the captain. Leonard Knight... Man, he's a captain, dude. Leonardo nodded slightly. When did you become a captain? Why haven't I heard of it? Recently, Fry sentently replied before giving an explanation. Shortly after you left, I became a Sequence 8 Gravedigger. I finally advanced to Spirit Medium last month. Oh, shit. Sequence 7. And it just so happened the previous captain was transferred away. That's fast. The previous captain was... Wait. So who filled in for Dun from then to now? That's fast. Before Leonard could finish the sentence, he had punched himself in the head. Look at my memory. I forgot that Klein had already shared some experiences with everyone. He lowered his right hand and said to Fry with a smile, in that case, you still have room and time to make further progress. Perhaps you might become a Decon. Fry started to look at him and retracted his gaze. I'll likely not choose to continue advancing. Oh. Why? Someone unknown. So they probably just sent in like a temporary captain. Why? Leonard took a few steps out and came to Fry's side, asking in puzzlement. Fry looked up at the ceiling and said in a calm and heavy voice, I wish to stay here, protecting this place always. Oh, come on, man. I wish to stay here, protecting this place always. Oh, fuck, man. Man, Dun's spirit lives on in him, dude. Leonard fell silent and didn't give a response. Oh, wow, I'm emotional. He observed his surroundings and felt that there was quite a significant changes, but there were also many things that remained immutable. Fry fell silent for a while before saying, I'll dispatch 2 members to follow you. As he spoke, he headed for the basement. Leonardo then subconsciously followed by the side. The office right at the bottom had its door open. A few Nighthawks were in there playing cards. Oh man, they're playing cards just like in Volume 1. Fighting evil. When they sensed their captain approaching, they hurriedly put down their poker cards and stood up. Man, you know what chapter I really like now? Now that I reminisce, during the good old days when they were just playing fucking poker, they're just playing cards, right? It's like Klein was just playing cards with everybody, like in the break room. That was such a good chapter. Now that I think about it, like, that's such a good chapter. Leonard swept his gaze across them and saw 2 familiar faces. Oh, they were Royale with her smooth black hair and white-haired, black-eyed Sika. Man, we haven't seen Royale in so long, dude. And then, dude, after watching last week's episode, episode 9, when Royale is just kind of there with them, fuck, man, that shit hit, dude, when they're there with O'Neill. And the white-haired, black-eyed Sika, Sika-tron. We haven't seen her in a while. I'm kind of sad in the Dunkwa, we've only had like 1 scene with her. We don't know how good we had in Volume 1. That we don't know, man. Sequatron mentioned. That's crazy. I am so excited to finish rereading this. I'm not even that far, man, but I'm so excited. I think I lost my place. Wait, no, I finished the page, so we're in a new page. Oh, man. Leonard swept his gaze across them and saw 2 familiar faces. They were the Royale with her smooth black hair and the white-haired, black-eyed Sika. At the same time, he also saw a few unfamiliar faces. He saw the pence, Soli, and poker cards on the table. For a moment, he felt his mind adrift as his vision blurred up. Oh, is his vision blurring up because his eyes are getting watery? In the roasted archipelago waters in the small harbor near... Oh, why don't we just switch point of views? Come on, man. I want more of that, bro. In the roasted archipelago... waters in a small harbor neighboring a fishing village at the bottom of the future, Frank Lee rolled up his sleeves. Fucking the Mushroom King is back. Frank Lee rolled up his sleeves and crossed his arms, seriously looking at the mushroom in front of him. The mushroom, together with its cap, stood at a height of 1.8 meters to almost 6 feet. Its white, that's a big ass mushroom. What the fuck? Its white surface had a few bright red spots that resembled eyes, a nose, and a mouth. Apart from that, its stems had protruding spores. They had thick and strong looking white hypha that resembled tentacles. Ugh. Frank sized up the gigantic mushroom and surveyed the area, looking at the wooden walls, floorboards, and the mushrooms of different shapes and sizes, before saying to Artisan Sealf, not bad. This experiment had more progress again. The mushrooms had a strong inclination to reproduce, and this will make it hungry, making it eager to replenish itself with monster flesh and blood. Be it roasting or boiling, these can cease its activity, making it not as dangerous. Huh. How does it taste? Did you try? The offspring that it produces have random flavors. Beef, fish, and malt. What an experiment. Some are even filled with milk. Ugh. A little triggered. One of them is enough to satisfy any requirements for breakfast. See, the crew no longer enjoy drinking anymore. There are mushrooms that can be plucked everywhere. I believe that when out in the wilderness to fill one's stomach, one has to carry dry rations and hunt wild beasts. That's just too troublesome. If we can let our bodies grow mushrooms, wouldn't it save the hassle? What the fuck? Yo, what's up, dude? What the heck? If we can let our bodies grow mushrooms, what chapter now? 1013. We're almost done. If we can, and I'm a little emotional right now, bro. I'm not gonna lie. If we can let our bodies grow mushroom, wouldn't it save the hassle? Artisan Sealf was a lot thinner than back when he was in Bayam. His eye sockets were deep and his eyes vacant. They were lacking in life. Man, many people think Volume 1 is boring. I think when I first read it, I wouldn't say I was bored. I was overwhelmed at the amount of text. But now when I go back, I know I'm gonna like it a lot more than I did now. Especially after I finish it. I'm gonna have so much more fun rereading Volume 1. It's gonna be so good. Upon hearing Frank's words, he seemed to recall something as his body trembled. He suddenly crouched down and opened his mouth, producing retching noises. Are you okay? I know it was tough for you. I'm really grateful for all you've done recently. Frank said sincerely to the artisan. It wasn't for you. The mushrooms wouldn't have such a strong inclination towards reproduction. Also, they have obtained abnormally strong vitality under the moonlight, allowing themselves to purify themselves. This effectively limited the poison that accumulates from devouring monsters. The only problem is that there's no moonlight and pure darkness. This is the next problem that we need to resolve. Frank is crazy. This guy is literally fucking Frankenstein, man. He's crazy. He's creating some crazy ass shit. Is he gonna reread Elohim before me? That is the goal. Sealf didn't say a word as he finished vomiting. He vomited. After he finished vomiting, he immediately stood up and turned to rush outside. However, a thick and strong white high foot reached out and pulled him back. Return my mystical item to me. I want to die with these mushrooms, he yelled frankly. His voice softened as his mouth was covered. At this moment, green vines rapidly retreated from a certain spot of the fishing village as though it was growing in reverse. Dude, what the fuck? Catleya walked out of it, her eyes dark purple with some silver hints to them. Her ears continued resounding with the illusionary ravings of the hidden sage. However, she no longer found it terrifying. She didn't find it unacceptable like before. Whenever she looked, there were countless indescribable figures looking as if they were shadows stacked upon each other, like an invisible gaze that was cast over for an unknown location. What, did she advance off screen? Compared to the past, she could already see the unknown existence hidden behind the curtains. She could see the moons high up in the sky. They were of different... She could see the moons? Different moons? High up in the sky that were different colors. They were either blood red, silver, dark brown, or ghostly blue, resembling eyes that looked down upon the land. What the fuck? Catleya's mind hummed as she hurriedly retracted her gaze, afraid to look further. She had already dissected the snake of fate's blood and completed the ritual. Through that, she had obtained godhood to become... Oh, she made it. She had obtained godhood, becoming a sequence 4 mystiologist of the mystery prior pathway. Yo, that's so hype, dude. But what the fuck is this other moon that she sees that we don't see? Oh, that's trippy. So there's probably more behind that. However, she remembered the Queen's warning. Among all the Sequence 4 Beyonders of the 22 pathways, Mysticologist was the job that encountered danger the easiest. Yeah, because she's seeing too much. It was because they often saw things they shouldn't see, hear things that they shouldn't hear, and be aware of the secrets they shouldn't be aware of. Therefore, a Mysticologist needs to know how to curb their curiosity. I thought I said curb your enthusiasm. They need to know how to curb their curiosity and control their respective actions in order to live long. Removing the heavy glasses she hung on her clothes, Catleya wore it, but all the various things she saw in the real world didn't vanish. She curled her lips in satisfaction in a self-deprecating manner. She knew that the item could no longer seal her ability of prying. Oh! Oh! Those glasses were for concealment. Oh shit, they were to help her. She closed her eyes before opening them. Her eyes had turned... Wait, so that's why she always wore those thick glasses. Because they conceal things. Oh, shit. And then the monocule the guy wore back then lets you see more. But these conceal. Oh, that is cool. So she removes the heavy glasses she hungs on her clothes. Catleya wore it, but all the various things she saw in the real world didn't vanish. She curled her lips in satisfaction in a self-deprecating manner. She knew that the item can no longer seal her ability of prying into secrets. So that was a way to seal her. Okay. She can like seal her surroundings. She closed her eyes before opening them. Her eyes turned black, no longer having the mysterious dark purple and silver hues. Wait, her eye color changed? It's easy to see things you're not supposed to I can't read. It's easy to see things you're not supposed to as a mystery prior. Damn, so she would use that fucking sealed artifact to like conceal it, or a mystical item to like just conceal what she sees. Phew, Kalia heaved a sigh of relief and slowly walked to the future. I always thought she just needed glasses. I guess that makes more sense now in retrospect. She didn't wish to announce her becoming a demigod, and she had no intention of quickly becoming the 5th royal over the seas. To her, this was a trump card in the dangerous world. Oh, it's a trump card. She doesn't want people to know. To her, this was a trump card in the dangerous world, one that she had to keep close to her chest. South, that's a smart move. South of the bridge, Rose Street, the carriage that Emlyn was on drove the street when he saw the blurry figure in a white shirt and in black vest and slightly messy hair appear opposite him. It was that Rafe-like young man. Long time no see, Mr. Merrick. Emlyn said with an unsurprised smile. Merrick nodded slightly. There are so many characters overlapping. Didn't realize. Remember the warning, Roselle. Be careful of the moon. I thought he said be careful of the spectator. Oh, shit. He did say be careful of the moon before. His first warning was be careful of the moon, and his newest warning was be careful of the spectator. Oh, that's good. Reasonable. I'm here to tell you that we've already made the preparations. We can discuss the actual operation. And as we say that, we go straight into the next chapter. Chapter 1014 is called The Growing Up. All right. Timestamp. All right. Let's fucking keep reading. Both be careful of the moon and be careful of the spectator. Nah, that's kind of scary, man. What the fuck? 44? Yeah, dude, I'm sorry. I kept you guys waiting so long today. Yeah, it was pretty bad. Timing-wise, I'm like, fuck, man. Then I was like, fuck, I don't know if I'm going to make it a stream today. I felt bad. But at least we got to read something before the episode drops in an hour and 8 minutes. Whew, shit. We got to keep reading. I got to read fucking 4 more chapters. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. Oh, I think we can make it. All right. Wait, why'd I hit enter? That's not the play button. I have to use my stream deck. All right. Emlyn replied very calmly. Merrick didn't speak further as his figure vanished. He knew that it was impossible to come up with a specific plan in an instant. And those warnings come from Zoe, not just anybody. Now that's... I assume he figured all this out when he was in the Twilight Hermit Order. Like, this is all info he probably found out when he was with the group. Emlyn White had to first seek the opinion of the upper echelons of Sanguine, therefore he didn't say, this might be a chance for me to obtain godhood and become an earl. Emlyn smiled as he watched the Wraith Merrick leave silently. He had yet to digest the Scarlet Scholar beyond characteristics. The so-called opportunity to become an earl referred to the promise of attaining a free ritual and the corresponding potion formula. The carriage continued forward and stopped at the entry of the Harvest Church. Emlyn looked at the grayish-white fog in the sky with a look of satisfaction, pressed on a silk top hat, and unhurriedly alighted the carriage before entering the cathedral store. After changing into the brown priest robe, he picked up a clove and a pail of water and began seriously wiping the surface of the candle stands. After Father Utrowski, who had appeared taller, finished his morning sermon, Emlyn stopped working and grumbled. Why was Ernie's allowed to return? He only requested to do a month of volunteer work. Father Utrowski wasn't annoyed by Emlyn's repeated question from time to time, appearing extremely patient. What a good man. Upon thinking of his encounter, Emlyn immediately felt indignant. He couldn't help but mumble. He was forced to do volunteer work and not out of his own accord. He can't be allowed to decide on the period. He needs to serve at least half a year. Father Utrowski replied with a smile. He did well. He worked hard the entire month, guiding the devotees and copying the Bible. I could clearly sense that he had already realized the value of life and the joy of harvest. Damn, he got it a lot quicker than Emlyn, and now he's mad. Emlyn's facial muscles twitched slightly. Is he soon going to become a believer of Earth Mother? No, I didn't force him to change his fate, Father Utrowski said gently. I only taught him the teachings of Earth Mother and to sense the traces of fragments that life brings. I hope that he will recall the home for the soul, the mother's embrace whenever he feels lost. I love Father Utrowski, man. He is such a goated character. He's been through so much. He had such a crazy fucked up past, right? A very violent past. And now he's just like a dude. He's just a Chad trying to help out, others. Emlyn's lips quivered, but he ultimately didn't say a word. He lowered his head and continued wimping. In an apartment in Sherwood Borough, Force sat on the high-back chair, his gaze focused on an empty glass bottle on the desk in front of her. She had finally digested the astrologer potion some time ago. Today, under Shio's watch, she had concocted the Asman's brain and the ancient Wraith's cursed item into the scribe potion. She mustered her courage and drank it. Oh shit, she's advancing. Okay. At this moment, she felt her brain rapidly expanding, the grand folds and white matter rapidly increasing as her body gradually blurred, separating into individual cells. Those cells formed a haloed door that circled her brain. What the fuck? She has a haloed door circling around her brain. That's such a cool ass imagery. Force suddenly heard the familiar ravings, but they were indistinct and blurry, preventing her from identifying the exact words at all. To the experience her, it didn't affect her in any way. After an unknown period of time, Force finally regained control over her brain cell and could sense her body's existence. Almost at the same time, a large amount of knowledge resounded in her mind, making her understand how to use the powers of the scribe. The mutated brain, so her brain mutated. The mutated brain reproduced the beyond powers used by the target before driving a portion of the vitalized cells to form corresponding symbols, patterns, and labels from complete storage. The fuck? This was I came, I saw, I record. Oh shit, that ability. Which used one soul as a pen and one spirit as a paper. Wait, so now she can summon it. I came, I saw, record, which uses one soul as a pen and one spirit body as a paper. At present, I can only record one beyond a power that has the influence of godhood. The higher the target sequence, the higher the chances of my failure. Even targeted at sequence 4, I might not be able to succeed even once in 10 attempts. I can record 8 sequence 5 and 6 beyond powers, and the effects are half of the original. I can record 20 sequence 7 to 9 beyond our powers, with the effects of being almost like the original. When the potion is digested further, I'll enjoy an enhancement in all these aspects. I'm sorry, does she no longer need her book? Now she can just keep renting the book. She don't need it anymore. She can just do this herself. Force can clear the knowledge as her experiences before silently muttering to herself. Wait, no. She can still have the Tarot Club stock up spells in the book, right? In Layman's Travels, and then she has hers. I guess. This appeared to overlap with Layman's Travels, but Force felt that no one would even find having too many beyond her powers being excessive. Fuck no, dude. Keep them coming. Besides, the two were complementary. After all, she couldn't rent Layman's Travels to other Terry Club members and be paid with beyond her powers. However, she would be unable to rent herself out at Sequence 6, and Apprentice finally has sufficient combat string. Finally. Force regaining her thoughts as she signed to Shio. Nice, let's go, dude. She then took out a pen and paper and began writing a letter. Dear teacher, I'm very pleased to inform you that I finally become a scribe. I'm just one step away from my dreams of traveling. After writing a few sentences, she saw Shio stand up and walk towards the door from the corner of her eyes. She hurriedly shouted at her eyes, hey, shouldn't we head to a restaurant to celebrate? Let's go eat, dude. Shio replied in a stern manner, your overjoying spirituality is rather serious. You'll need several days of cognition to keep it under control. You aren't allowed to smoke or drink. Don't overly indulge yourself in your emotions. Just finished volume 1 of your reaction. No way. Meet your doom. Yo, what's up? I hope you enjoyed it, man. Dude, I got so emotional at the end of volume 1. Oh man, and then I remember rewatching trailer 1 and 2. I'm like, oh my god, this is the greatest trailer I've ever watched, dude. That shit's fun, man. You're having me reminiscing over here, dude. After the advice she added, I still have commission. Dude, thank you for watching it, man. After the advice she added, I still have commissions to do. I almost have enough to exchange for the judge formula. Judge was sequence 5? I forgot about that. I almost have enough to exchange for the judge formula. All right, Force threw up her hands. After leaving the house, Shio unlocked the chains and got out onto a bicycle specifically created for use. She... Wait, did she get a smaller bike? It's good seeing more people watching all the VODs from the beginning. Yeah, it's cool, dude. There's been one guy called Ao. He's like at chapter 7. He's like at 800 right now, dude. Once he joins the stream, I'm gonna be so excited. This guy has been he's been leaving comments like every stream, and it fills me with joy. Easy sounded like the meme just then. You got me monologuing. I've never seen that meme, but this is funny. Shio got a small bike. She got a kid bike. Shio unlocked the chains and got onto a bicycle specifically created for use. She then rode towards Helstonborough. According to the intelligence she had previously obtained, Viscount Stratford had reserved lunch at a luxurious restaurant. Upon reaching the restaurant, Shio secured the bike to a street lamp and found a secluded corner to observe the people passing by. After an unknown period of time, a carriage drove through the thin fog. There was a coat of arms with flowers and 2 rings engraved on it. Shio's focus intensified as she watched the carriage stop the restaurant's entrance. She then saw the grizzled Viscount Stratford, who was in his 40s, get off first. He then extended his right hand to the passenger behind him like a gentleman. It was a lady draped in dark red cloak. Who wears dark red cloak? Shio couldn't see the lady's face and only noticed that the lady's jaw was soft and her skin fair. Who could this be? On the Blue Avenger at the Northern Sonia Sea, Olger Wilson's feet left the ground as he floated behind the window of the captain's... I forget he can fly. As he floated behind the window of the captain's cabin, he stared at the deck and distant waves outside. Having already digested a portion of the Ocean Songs potion, he had reported to the Church of Storms 2 weeks ago and had accumulated enough contribution points to obtain a wind-blessed potion and successfully consumed it. This also meant that he was officially sequence 6. Of course, he had to redigest the Windbless potion, but that wasn't too difficult. Oh, yeah, he was hiding it. Whoa, now I feel really bright. Whoa. Now I feel like I'm glowing. Let me turn it down a bit. And now I feel like I'm glowing. The biggest problem is that the commotion created for the digestion of the ocean songster is too obvious. I should have bought the word of the sea and blamed the singing on it every time to hide his bad singing. Olger sighed suddenly, but he didn't feel too much regret. This was because even if he wanted to buy it back then, he didn't have the money for it. Furthermore, he had figured out the way to digest the ocean songster potion. I should be able to get the information soon and confirm what the basic Navy officer that Mr. Foon wishes to investigate. Olger retracted his gaze and floated back to the desk where there was a brass sextant. At this moment, 2 sailors passed by the deck while belching. There seems to be sirens in these waters. I always hear their singing at night. One of the sailors said in uncertainty. His companion sneered. How is that possible? How can a siren sound so bad? It must be some noise produced by some sea monsters. Olger doesn't trust the storm. Yeah, he doesn't trust them, right? But it must be some noise produced by some sea monster. City of Silver. Fuck, man, we're going through all the point of views today. City of Silver, the trading field, which wasn't as crowded compared during daytime. A pile of blue ice was stacked there like a small mountain. Did he make new friends? Derek didn't bring his weapon with him as he stood empty-handed in front of the mountain of ice, piously praying. The fool that doesn't belong to this era. Wait, he's chanting and... and he's not hiding? After chanting the honorific name and making his request, he looked at Sealf of the 6-member council, Colin Iliad, walked towards the ice blocks from afar. Oh, yeah, wait. Technically, the fool was like his first prayer, right? That was like, I remember Colin Iliad said, it's been over 2,000 years, but we finally got a response. Colin, with 2 swords on his back, carried a bottle of light emitted and hot golden liquid. He watched as Derek exerted his strength to enter the ice block and bury himself inside completely without leaving a single crack. A deep and hazy darkness descended. Even with the lightning streak across the sky, it was unable to illuminate the interior. In the blink of an eye, an indescribable surge appeared as though the pairs of eyes were cast over from the depths of darkness. Colin Iliad could clearly see that Derek was in deep slumber. Even though Derek was being frozen and ice that normally didn't melt and his body was trembling, he didn't wake up. Without any hesitation, he threw the potion bottle. Holy shit, dude, he's doing it. He's about to drink the potion. Have you taken notes, Zen? No. I have not. It's bad, but I have not had time to take notes for Volume 4. I've just read everything, right? That's on the Lord Discord section, but I just like I haven't had the time to just copy and paste. I did it for you. No, I know it's all on the Discord of management, but I haven't actually like copied and pasted it. I lied. I do have all the Volume 4 stuff. I don't have any Volume 5 stuff. He hasn't since. I know I haven't been able to like properly take my own notes like apart from that, right, and like organize it. It's been a time thing now. I hope you guys can forgive me for that. But yeah, it's bad, man. I haven't had as much free time as I used to back then. At least like a few months ago when I would like just take notes off stream. A wraith-like transparent figure floated above the envelope. Why I skipped the line. Colin Iliad could clearly sense that Derek was in deep slumber. Even though Derek was being frozen and ice that normally didn't melt and his body was trembling, he didn't wake up. Without any hesitation, he threw the potion bottle ahead of him. A wraith-like transparent figure floated above and enveloped it. The figure passed through the blue ice and came... Wait, who's a wraith-like transparent figure? The figure passed through the blue ice and came to the cramped space where Derek was. It took out the potion and placed it in Derek's mouth. Just as the action was done, it immediately retreated and left the ice blocks. Whoosh. Colin Iliad suddenly drew his sword and cleaved behind him in his right. A monster whose rotting body was covered in ice burst out into yellow pus. It wasn't known where he came from. At this moment, Colin saw a radiant light emerging from the pile of blue ice. Oh shit, he's ascending, dude. You wrote down a bunch of notes 2 days ago, remember? I think I did. It was up unhinged. They scattered pure light with a burning intensity, warmth, brightness, and vitality that was different from the surrounding lightning. It's different. They scattered pure light with a burning intensity, warmth, brightness, and vitality that was different from the surrounding lightning. This filled Colin's eyes as if the light had come from the dark ages. The City of Silver chief watched intently as what motionless for a long time until another monster emerged from darkness. Another one. In the ancient palace above the great fog, Little Sun is a sequence 5-2. Client heaved a sigh of relief as he cast his eyes at the crimson star that representing the sun and cast it at another star. That signified misjustice. Over the past month or so, she had completed many of the Psychology Alchemist missions and had exchanged her contribution for the Dreamwalk. Fucking, dude, everybody's hitting Sequence 5, dude. Damn, that is crazy. Over the past month or so, she had completed many of the Psychology Alchemist missions and had exchanged her contribution for the Dreamwalker potion formula. This also meant that she was about to meet Hyven Rampus again. Oh, it's gonna be good. And I wonder, now that she's stronger and digested her potion, she'd be able to like kind of analyze him a little bit clearer. But next chapter, bam, 1015. Oh my goodness. Also, man, I lost my voice a little bit today. I've been singing in the car a lot more louder than usual to practice my lyrics. I'm practicing my singing like Olger right now, by the way. I'm gonna go to a concert in like a month. Don't worry, I'm not gonna say which one yet, but I'm gonna have to take like a few days off. I'm gonna have to take like a day off. I'm gonna take a day off before and the day off after for the concert, since, you know, it's gonna be a drive. But luckily it's all West Coast, but we're gonna make it work. You know, it's the one thing I love, man. I fucking love road trips. I think just long drives are just so fun, man. You just get to drive on the road, roll down the windows, take in the fresh air, and like just fucking travel. It's so fun, man. Such a fun passing time. Oh, we can read volume 6, bro. Of course, dude. I want you to know we are reading volume 6 in October. Don't worry, guys. I know we've only been reading like 5 chapters from Monday to now, but it's okay. We're gonna get to it. We are gonna be reading it in October. Don't worry. Don't worry. All right, let's keep reading. Chapter 1015. March of War? Huh? Are we going to war? What the fuck? That just kind of came out of nowhere. Backlund and the residents of the future merchant. Wow, as I say, back from war stream crashed. I think we're good. We're back. Yo, Red. Yo, what's up, Red? Long time no see, dude. All right, I think we're back. Yeah, we reconnected. Yeah, dude, I fucking love road trips, man. Oh, man, I love it. And I think that's the one cool thing about West Coast. And West Coast, there's a lot of, like, road trips that you can take, man. Like, there's so many places. Like, you can go to like northern West Coast, southern West Coast, and there's just so much to do, bro. It's crazy just how much you can do here in the West Coast. I mean, of course, it's like a 8 to 12 hour drive, right? Like, it takes you like, I think from top to bottom, it's like a 16-hour drive from the top of West Coast all the way to the bottom. I think it's like a 16-hour drive. But it's like, there's so much you can see, man. Or you can go to like all the states locally nearby. West Coast. It's just cool, man. What I want to do one day, I want to take a month off one day and just touch grass and do like a 1 month trip, bro. And just do like all of West Coast, bro. Just start from like the bottom or the top and then just do like a full fucking circle, bro. And just like hit all the fucking hit all the national parks West Coast or all the crazy sightseeing spots. I think that'd be sick, man. Definitely, Red. That'd be so fucking cool. I feel I need to do something like that, man. I need something like that. I think that's the one thing I love, man. I just love taking little trips. I love it, man. It gives me meaning when I get to see grass. If I take a 12-hour drive, I can reach either Italy, Spain, Belgium, Lux. Oh, I've been there. Wait, before I read. I've been to Italy. I've been to Luxembourg and Germany. Dude, Luxembourg was so fucking cool, dude. I love Luxembourg. I love it, man. If you guys go on my Twitter, I set a picture in Austria as my wallpaper. It's so those were some of my favorite locations, man. Germany, Luxembourg, and Austria. Those places were so fucking cool. So different from West Coast. Don't tell this fan base to touch grass. You know what? You know when I am going to touch grass? By reading this outside. I'm going to read this outside in the grass one day. All right. Chapter 1015, March of the War. Buckland at the residence of the future merchant Hampris. Audrey once again met the counselor of the psychology alchemist, Hyven Rampus. This old gentleman remained warm and elegant. So this warm, elegant man is setting up the March of War. Luxembourg is quite the good place. Expensive though. Yeah, I liked it, man. I was only there for like a day and a half. I loved it. It was super cool. This old gentleman remained warm and elegant. His white but lush hair was neatly combed. His blue, deep eyes seemed to contain infinity knowledge. Upon seeing him, Audrey's eyes wore a vacant look before she came to realization. It was as though she had finally woken from a long dream and recovered her lost memories. She wasn't surprised or puzzled by this at all, accepting this fact without any resistance, as if it was something very normal. And it's like, so she's acting, yeah, I remember everything now. I'm gonna lower the volume down just a smidge. It was cool seeing at Gamescom. They were just singing a live performance from Clay Obscure. It was so cool, dude. Good afternoon, Mr. Rampus. Audrey greeted with the etiquette that was flawless. Rampus nodded slightly and replied with a smile. Good afternoon, our girl. Over the past month or so, our girl? What the fuck? She's not yours. Get out of here, dude. Over the past month or so, he had gradually adopted the idea that she was a pride of the psychology alchemists and the most important girl. Okay? Oh, because she has the most potential. Okay, I get it. Audrey glanced at the diamond brooch at her chest and sat down with a smile, waiting for Hyven Rampus to speak. In regard to the cue and guidance, she hadn't been affected at all due to her preparations at this moment. When she heard Hyven Rampus call her that, she wished to ignore everything etiquette or whatnot, rolling her eyes without being afraid of being exposed. However, she ultimately held back without exposing any problem. Hyven Rampus looked at Audrey for a few seconds before saying with a smile, "You've done well during this period of time. As a reward, we decided to give you the potion formula for Dreamwalker." Damn, dude. Everybody is advancing. As he spoke, he took out a folded piece of paper from his shirt pocket and placed it on the coffee table. He then pushed towards the noble lady. Audrey pressed down on her skirt and got up slightly. She picked up her piece of paper and unfolded it from the front Hyven Rambus. Her gaze first fell on the main ingredients before she quickly skimmed the ritual. Main ingredients: 1 Dreamcatcher's Heart Dreamcatcher. Isn't that in the dream world? 1 Dreamcatcher's Heart, 1 Mind Dilution Crystal, or Mature Mind Dragon Complete Brain. The fuck? We need a Mind Dragon's brain? Everyone is leveling up. Shit. I understood that solo leveling reference, dude. Everyone's leveling up. Consume the potion. Wait. Or Mature Mind Dragon Complete Brain. Ritual: seek out a harpy in the spirit world and sign a contract with it. Then, holding 1 tail feather, consume the potion amidst intense feelings of either joy or anger. As though sensing Audrey's puzzlement, Hyven Rambus explained with a smile, a harpy has the ability to give nightmares. It can snap people awake from their dreams, so the entire ritual essence is to be immersed in a dream and be unwilling to wake up from it. Get pulled out of the dream via an external force, or else you might sleep forever or lose control and turn into a monster. What kind of fucking ritual is this? Holy shit, that is scary, dude. Audrey nodded and thought, the requirement to consume the potion amidst the intense feelings is to prevent myself from sleeping too soundly and deeply. Yes, you've already grasped the crux of the matter. Hyven Rambus said with a smile, if you don't know much about the spirit world and can't find a harpy, we can provide some help. If the ritual's essence is for me to wake up from a dream, that means that the harpy isn't necessary. The blessings of Mr. Fool's angel can allow me to remain lucid in dreams. I can wake up whenever I want. Damn, she got it easy, dude. Audrey's green eyes darted about and said with looks anticipation, I can first try it myself? Really? All right, Hyven didn't mind the girl's desire to take the risks. Listen to easy radio while eating my breakfast. Bro, Wind Valley, thank you for telling me what I tweeted the other day. I did not know I was basically shipping Leonard and Klein in that tweet. When you translate that shit, really? It's like, oh, I was just clicking hashtags that were popular for Lord of the Mysteries. We know you ships easy. Dude, I don't know. I put basically Leonard on top of Klein. Oh, shit. I thought I was like another abbreviation of Lord of Mysteries. What can I say? There were just a lot of tweets, dude. I'm like, oh, shit, I'm being judged pretty hard right now. It was pretty funny. It was funny. It's pretty funny as fuck now. He paused and said, I have another matter for you. If you don't do it well, moved on from Klein Datley to Leo Klein. At least we leveled up, right? If you do it well, we will provide you with all the ingredients of the Dreamwalker potion. What is it? Audrey asked without any resistance, just like before. Hyven Rabbit said with a slightly solemn expression, no, Klein on top of Leonard. Oh, my bad. That's crazy, dude. I didn't even notice I tweeted that. Hyven Rabbit said it with slightly solemn expression, find out the attitudes of your father, Earl Hall, the present Duke Negan, Admiral Amirs, and the other nobles about a relatively major war. Audrey repeated the words as she had often heard but found somewhat unfamiliar. She had a vague feeling that ripples had suddenly formed under the surface of a seemingly calm lake. I'm gonna start double checking what I tweet now. I'm gonna start using Google Translate a lot more often now. Above the great fog, Klein listened to Miss Justice's prayers and fell into deep thought. He was unable to determine whether psychology alchemist Hermes or maybe even Adam, who was lurking behind them, welcome or objected to war. War. Let me read this again. War. Above the great fog, Klein listened to Miss Justice's prayer and fell into deep thought. He was unable to determine whether psychology, alchemist, Hermes, or maybe even Adam, who was lurking behind him, welcomed or objected to a war. War? As for whether the lone king, the prime minister, or a number of nobles and a member of parliament wanted war, the answer was relatively clear. No war. Peace and positivity and prosperity, and we live in harmony. Last year, the hangman had once asked Miss Justice a similar question. Her answer was that the king and prime minister had to... Oh, shit. That was mentioned in Volume 2. Her answer was that the king and the prime minister had the tenacities of being warmongers, but they had chosen to first focus on internal reform and settle the connections over various matters. Now, about a year had passed, and all the policies that had been implemented were on track. In other words, it was time to start a war? What? We're going to war? Oh, hell no. It was time to start a war to snatch back the interest which Lowen had lost in East Balam. Lowen is invading East Balam? It's a revolutionary era. The strife between the countries are intense, and once war begins, it's unlikely that it can be controlled. Furthermore, Adam Amon and the other kings of angels have appeared one after another, have already retrieved key items, or are seeking... Oh, fucking shit. Are we gonna get a fucking war? Wait, are we actually gonna get a war with like fucking demigods and fucking angels involved in the war and then they're fighting? Oh, that's gonna be so badass, dude. Oh, it's gonna be so sick. Oh, it's gonna be so fucking cool if that happens, dude. A storm is about to descend on the mysterious world. War, bro. A storm is about to descend on the mysterious world, and danger is lurking. Klein signed and returned to the world. Absolutely nothing. Yo, man, in real life, hell no. War is bad. But in this series, this is badass. Oh, shit. This is badass in this series. Oh, dude, just imagine that, bro. And then Klein has to, like, partake in the war, right? Oh, shit. Oh, man. Does Easy know the blank? Wait, the name. I don't know. The name of something. The name. Oh, wait. The name. Yeah, I know the name of the volume. I know the name. No, I do know the name of the volume. I do know the name. The next day, he first went to St. Summer Cathedral to pray according to his schedule and donated tens of pounds. Tens of pounds? That little? Who donated? The next day, he first went to St. Summer Cathedral to pray according to his schedule and donated tens of pounds. Following that, he went to 22 Phillip Street, planning to participate in some of the businesses of the Lowen Charity Mercy Foundation. The moment he stepped inside, Klein saw Miss Audrey Hall and a few of the foundation staff coming down the stairs and walking towards the door. This noble lady was dressed very simply today. Her hair was tied up into a simple bun, and she wore no other accessories. Her dress was light green in color, and her sleeves had a circle of frills. There were no laces of tassels. Good morning, Miss Audrey. Klein took off his hat as usual and bowed. He then nodded at the staff and greeted them. After Audrey responded, Klein casually asked, "Where are you going?" He knew that Miss Triss's main role as the foundation was to seek donations from the various ladies and gentlemen in high society. Don't explain it? No, I know the name. Yeah. Don't explain the meaning though behind the... Yeah, that I don't know. Where are you going? He knew that Mistress's main role in the foundation was to seek the donations from the various ladies and gentlemen in high society. Audrey replied with a faint smile, visited the various universities and showed that some concerns to the students we held previously. Having said that, she blinked her eyes as her smile widened. Mr. Dantes, do you want to get together? Take a look at the children who... Do you want to get together? Do you want to go together? Oh, shit, I'm like, the wording. No, not get together. Do you want to go together? I'm like, whoa, Audrey, whoa, chill. Mr. Dantes, do you want to go together? Take a look at the children who had the chance of changing their fates due to your ideas and kindness. Aw. Oh, some of them are already young adults. Although Klein had never thought of obtaining anything in return from the Lowen Charity Bursting Foundation, he truly wished to see the actions could help the target group. Therefore, he was rather concerned about the progress in the actual situation. He nodded with a smile after some hesitation. I have no way of rejecting such an invitation. The group went out the door, and under Miss Audrey's suggestion, they chose an untractable public carriage. Roasting, and I'll say something. I was like, no way, she just asked them out. It's cool. It's like Dwayne Dantes. He's just straight up Bruce Wayne, bro. He's like setting up like an orphanage, or like he's just like setting up like this foundation, right? This enterprise to help others. It's cool, dude. After getting into the carriage, Klein in a gentlemanly-like manner, let Miss Audrey sit down first. He sat opposite her and asked with a smile, "You seem to be very used to it." Audrey looked at the foundation staff beside her and said with a smile, "It is not the first time. It's impossible for us to take my own carriage every time we head out. They have to use public transportation." Upon saying that, she blushed into embarrassment and said, "The first time I was on a public carriage, I took out notes with £1 face value. The lady was control of the money, got me to buy a few copies of newspapers before going back to her. Oh, it's cleaner than I imagined. The smell of the air isn't that unbearable either." Klein nodded slightly and said, "This is because the truly poor and unable to take public transport like this, they'd rather walk under normal circumstances. They don't have to head out, nor do they go somewhere too far. Mr. Dantes, you seem to be familiar with such matters." Although Audrey had guessed the reason, she still asked in front of others. Klein smiled. "Although I never experienced it directly, I've seen too much of it." Audrey didn't continue on the topic. Instead, she mentioned to the beneficiaries that they were visiting to confirm their education and living conditions. Amidst the idle chat, they arrived at their first destination, Backland University of Technology. Dwayne is Bruce Wayne, but without the money? No, what do you mean? He does have the money. Backland University Technology. Based on Audrey's identity and Dwayne Dante's social relationships, they met the chancellor of the newly established university directly. He was a resident of the 100 in Bookland Street, Mr. Portland Moment. This elder had a large building, a ruddy complex. Wow, I cannot read. Reading comprehension struck. This elder had a large building, a ruddy complexion, and a loud voice. Whenever he talked to his neighbor, Dwayne Dantes, and his distinguished Miss Audrey about the university establishment, he would complain about the Higher Education Commission from time to time. Audrey and Klein listened with a decent smile and occasionally echoed his words. Finally, they found an opportunity to raise the need to begin work. Portland was just about to get his secretary when he suddenly heard someone knock on his door office. "Please come in," the chancellor said loudly. The door opened without a sound. The black-haired, brown-eyed girl entered. She didn't doll herself up. Is this Audrey? She didn't doll herself up and was rather thin. She had a nice facial feature, and she looked to be about 17 or 18. Klein's gaze suddenly deepened before he reined it in. The girl hadn't expected the chancellor's office to have guests. In her anxiety, she hurriedly lowered her head and said, "I'm sorry." "Hazel?" "It's fine. They were about to leave anyway," Portland said without minding it. "Have you finished the item I got you I got you to make last week?" "Yes." The girl walked through the door and stood to the side. Portland moment then smiled at Dwayne Dantes and Audrey. "He is barely a tycoon. He could barely pay gold coin to Miss Messenger. Bruce could draw beyond her in money." You know what? When you put it that way, D, you're right. He's like barely stepping his foot into the tycoon lifestyle. Let's raise this a little bit more. Yes, the girl walked through the door and stood to the side. Portland moment then smiled at Dwayne Dantes and Audrey. "Her name is Oh, you have to be kidding me. No. No. It's Melissa. Oh my God, it's Melissa. Wait. Oh, she's grown up so much. Oh, no. Oh, I got a tear in my eye, dude. Oh, the door opened. I didn't reread this. I was so distracted. We were over here talking about Bruce Wayne. The door opened without a sound. A black-haired, brown-eyed girl entered. She didn't doll herself up and was rather thin because she's not eating, dude. She had nice facial features, and she looked to be 17 or 18. Klein's gaze suddenly deepened before he reined it in. The girl hadn't expected the chancellor's office to have guests. In her anxiety, she hurriedly lowered her head and said, "I'm sorry. It's fine. They were about to leave anyway." Portland said without minding it, "Have you finished the item I got for you to make last week?" "Yes." The girl walked through the door and stood to the side. No, it's crazy, dude. Oh, I'm crying. Wow, this is an emotional stream today. What the fuck? First chapter, I'm tearing up that we went back, you know. Now, over here, we're running into Melissa. Yes, the girl walked through the door and stood to the side. Portland moment then smiled at Dwayne Dantes and Audrey. "Her name is Melissa Moretti. She's very talented with machinery. I happened to chance upon her and got her to help in my laboratory. Of course, she can only do some miscellaneous chores for now. Not bad." The fucking Klein, not bad. The corners of Klein's mouth curled up as he commended her with an obvious smile. Oh man, I'm crying. I didn't think I was gonna cry this stream. Oh man, if only she knew, dude. Bro, it's like your brother's like right there, dude. Not bad. The corners of Klein's mouth curled up as he commended her with an obvious smile. Audrey glanced at him and smiled. There are always arrogant people who say that women have no talent machinery, and this lady had proven them wrong. Portland laughed and shook his head. There's no need to bother about such comments. All right, I'll get my secretary to help you in understanding the conditions on the beneficiaries. Audrey and Klein didn't stay any longer as they left office. Nah, man. Once they were out on the door, Audrey strolled a glance at Dwayne Dantes, but she didn't say a word. Oh, did she catch something? No. Oh, shit. I think Audrey figured out that he knows her. Once they were out the door, Audrey stole a glance at Dwayne Dantes, but she didn't say a word. Oh, man. I'm emotional. What the fuck, dude? Unk status pending. I'm a little emotional right now, dude. What the fuck? Why am I so emotional today? What the fuck? Oh, my God. The episode drops in 30 minutes. I think this is going to be our last chapter. We're only reading one. Shit, we're only going to read 4 today. I'm sorry. What a good chapter, dude. 46 minutes. Oh man, 42 seconds. Fuck, man, I got a little emotional. Yeah, this is gonna be our last chapter. Oh man, I got a tear in my eye. I haven't finished episode 6. I'm slacking. You're slacking, bro. You gotta catch up. Episode 9 was so good, bro. It was so good, it made me cry. It makes a grown man cry. Now I'm excited for episode 10. I don't even know what's gonna happen in episode 10, but here we are. Alright, so this is gonna be our last chapter because the episode drops in 30 minutes. You're gonna have the title of the VOD, Emotional Read. Yeah, no, it's just Emotional Damage. I think the title for the VOD is just gonna be titled Emotional Damage. And then I think there's a meme of a guy screaming Emotional Damage. So that's gonna be a thumbnail. Chapter 1016 is called News from the Numinous Episcopate. 160 Brooklyn Street inside Dwayne Dantes' mansion. Klein stood in front of the floor to the ceiling window, watching as the rain began descending along the window. Fuck, that is such a... What a view. What a shot. The rain hit the ground as the glass intersecting to form a mesh. He's like, the sky is crying tonight. Ever since autumn, Backland has started to rain again and brought with it the lingering coldness and humidity. Klein stood there motionless for a long time, watching silently into the distance through the blurry rain scene, his eyes unfocused. Only when his spiritual perception was triggered did he stop his wandering thoughts and turn his head to the side. Renette, with the 4 blonde red eyes, heads in her hand, had a letter as she walked out of the void. Who is it from this time? Klein asked Miss Messenger out of habit. The last letter he received came from Miss Sharon. The lady had told him that she had successfully completed the ritual and advanced the sequence for a puppet to the prisoner pathway. Klein first sincerely congratulated her and apologetically informed her that he had already obtained what he had needed and didn't need to visit Cauldron City in the spiritual world anytime soon. Of course, he also indicated that there was a huge secret there that might have something to do with him. He would probably head there one day, and when the time came, if Miss Sharon had the time or was willing, he wished to obtain her support. For Klein, on the other hand, he might have to head there to find the future ingredients he needed for his advancement. On the other hand, he believed that the magical city involved an ancient death phoenix ancestor records also might... The episode is out? No, it's out. I know it's out on Bilibili. Yeah. Title it Emo Read and Photoshop an emo version of yourself in the thumbnail. Don't worry. Hey, man, I was emo back in the day. What are you talking about? I just got to put an old picture of me. Also might contain the method to head... Oh man, those old pictures are cringe, man. Contained the method to heal Mr. Zick's incomplete spirit body. Even if this dev console didn't have the means to advance, he hoped that by doing this, the former didn't need to repeatedly suffer the torment of losing his memories. Of course, Klein had prepared a plan for that. It was to wait until he had advanced to Sequence 3 Scholar Viewer. He could prepare the more yesterday once more charms for Mr. Zick, or he could imbue him with the corresponding beyond powers to speed up the recovery of his memories each time. At that moment, Klein had already received the letter. Renette Tanker's foreheads replied one after another from that undying idiot. Idiot. Now you have to do it on WeTV. Oh, it's on WeTV already. That undying idiot, Patrick Bryan of the Numinous Episcopates, artificial death faction. Klein easily understood who Miss Messenger was referring to. That undying idiot. This is because Patrick was the one who wrote the most to him over the past 2 months. She reported almost anything of slight importance and asked for instructions. After a few times, Renette Tanker gave him a nickname. Miss Messenger never shows interest in such matters before. I wonder when it began. It's probably because she's regaining herself, right? Like she's regaining her strength or whatever. Most of the people who write to me have been giving nicknames except Miss Sharon. As Klein silently mumbled, he unfolded the letter and gave it a quick scan. In the letter, Patrick Bryan said with the Southern Continent orders were no longer about getting him to make various attempts to awaken Death. Instead, they got him to prepare a special ritual and help the Death Domain Angel inside the mausoleum artificial Death faction's leader, Hater, recover. It was to allow him to have the means to temporarily leave the land in which he sealed himself, okay? Such an order didn't seem problematic on the surface, but it was also a little sudden. However, Klein still sensed something amiss. The artificial Death faction of numerous Episcopal Pates in the Southern Continent had previously made Patrick continue the strange but dangerous rituals to awaken Death. You're still doing it? Poor Patrick. Poor Patrick. I managed to trick them by instructing him to use excuses such as the inability to gather materials or the ultimate failure of the experiment. Now they finally suspected that there's something wrong with Patrick. Klein nodded and thought. Okay, what's he thinking? He suspected that this was a test directed at Patrick Bryan, a test that pointed towards an angel. An angel responsible to the ritual covered the entire world? Yes, it's good as long as they don't suspect that there's a problem with artificial death. After all, they've inherited a huge inheritance from the ancient Balam Empire. Who knows if they have a way to affect the goddess progress in controlling the death's pathway uniqueness? Who knows if they have a way to affect the goddess's progress in controlling the death's pathway? Will they? Death pathway's uniqueness. It could be a bane for both sides. Klein analyzed for a moment before heaving a sigh of relief. As for the test by the Death Domain Angel, he didn't think much of it. This was because the Fool could also direct power at the same level. With Angel's embrace, a disruption effect could be made as long as the High Priest named Hater didn't descend in person and only exerted influence remotely. He could carry out misdirections in an ingenious manner. After figuring this out, Klein flicked his wrist, ignited paper Patrick Bryan's letter with scarlet flames. As he returned to his desk, he took out a pen and paper and wrote, "You may proceed according to your teacher's instructions, but before the actual ritual, you must report this to me and gain my permission." Damn, you need my permission. All right, let me turn off the blue light filter and gain my permission. Now my thing's not loading. Come on right now. Let's turn that off. At the interval between the receiving and sending the letters were short, Patrick Bryan likely remained in his original spot. Klein didn't summon... Okay, we were reconnected. Stream reconnected. Klein didn't summon Patrick's messenger and instead blew the adventurous harmonica and handed the folded letter to Renette's tanker. Amidst the drizzle, she draped a small raincoat lined with tree sap over her and hid in the shadows. Staring at the side door of the Viscount Stratford's residence, it wasn't even evening, but the street lamps were already lit up. They emitted a faint glow in the rain. After a while, a rental carriage drove over from afar and stopped in front of the side door in a remote area. The Viscount's valet that had been hiding immediately ran out, opening an umbrella. He sheltered the woman down the carriage and quickly passed through the side door. As for the rental carriage, it remained in the spot without leaving. It had apparently been paid a sufficient amount of money. Sheil still failed to see the woman's appearance, but she wasn't disheartened by it. She patiently waited in the cold rain as though she had turned into a motionless statue. She planned on attempting to tell the woman once she came out to confirm her identity, the aura. This was both an opportunity for her to tame the judge pushing formula, and it was also the reason why she came to Backland to investigate the truth of her father's death. Damn, I almost forgot about that. And it was because she was spurred by such motivations that Sheil had persisted in monitoring Viscount Stratford to this day. Damn, to this day. MI9's other intelligence officer had already ended the mission due to the lack and any developments over the previous few months. Even the Golden Masked Man who had designated the mission hadn't asked about this in weeks. Clearly, he didn't place any importance on it. Inside Viscount Stratford's bedroom, a beautiful brown-haired girl wore a silk gown and sat in front of a dressing table. She was fiddling with her skincare and makeup. Is this the lady in the red dress? She was fiddling with her skincare and makeup products as if she had discovered a treasure trove. Viscount Stratford, who was already middle-aged, wore a male nightgown and walked to the beautiful girl with his hair still moist. He smiled at her reflection in the mirror and said, "Oh, it's fucking knew it. I was going to say Sherman. I was going to say Sherman when it was like, he advanced to assassin. Fucking Sherman." He smiled at the reflection in the mirror and said, "Shermaine, you no longer need to do those to add to your beauty. It's just a type of female instinct." He's like, damn. The young girl named Shermaine raised her hand with a smile, pressing down on the Viscount's palm that had been placed on the shoulder. Viscount Stratford smiled gently and said, "Why, when you touch them, you have a pure and innocent air to you." Huh. If only he knew, investigator. Huh. You make me discover my youth, like the days when I was only 18. Whoa, what the fuck is... Whoa. How old is... How old is Sherman? How old is Charmaine? Like the days when I was only 18. That sounds so creepy, dude. Without waiting for Charmaine's reply, he continued, my wife has already passed away for years. I always imagined I would live until the Lord beckons for me. But who knew that I would meet you? In a while, when the pressure accumulated in Backland is relieved, I will find a chance to walk down the wedding aisle to the altar with you. Wedding, you want to marry me? Charmaine was taken aback as she asked in disbelief. Bro is like Roselle. He knows the taste of demoness. He's like, it ain't that bad. Viscount Stratford smiled and said, meeting you is a gift from the Lord. Technically, it'd be a god, right? Trissy cheek. Technically, it's a gift from a god. It's a gift from the Lord, a potential god. Although you aren't of a noble birth, I've already married once. I don't have to consider such matters anymore. Of course, I'll think of the means to raise your standing in society. Yes, I'll first find a merchant to recognize you as his illegitimate daughter. He droned on about his plan until he saw Charmaine's eyes filled with tears in the mirror's reflection. Oh man, Charmaine's been waiting for this day her whole life. The most precious thing about you is that you treat me 10 times better than how well I treat you, and you don't hide it. Viscount Stratford smiled as he lowered his head and kissed the top of Charmaine's head. Charmaine opened her mouth and seemingly cried and laughed. Only when the drizzle stopped and the night fell did Shio finally wait for the woman in her dark red cloak to... okay, Charmaine was the one in the red cloak. Wait for the woman in the dark red cloak to walk out and board the carriage. After memorizing the carriage's traits, Shio tailed it from afar, using her beyond powers as a sheriff in the empty streets at night to follow the target simply by walking or running. She went all the... I really hope Shio gets her revenge, man. She, like, at the end of the story, I hope she gets her revenge. Like, I hope she avenges, like, her family. She went all the way from Emperor's Board to the Backland Bridge area. Even with her stamina, she was almost at her limit, but thankfully the carriage finally came to stop. She was brightened, and she technically has to run more because she's smaller. Shio right enough and she's I'm sorry, I should stop making fun of Shio. I really like her as a character. Like, in all honesty, she is one of my favorite characters. Like Shio, Force, like they are some of my favorite characters. Shio brightened up as she switched, and I don't remember if our tier list resembles that, but it should. Shio brightened up as she switched her target from the carriage to the cloaked woman and continued tailing her. During this process, she was surprised that the woman had very good anti-tracking abilities. She would occasionally take detours and pause using obstacles. However, this didn't stump Shio since she was already an experienced sheriff. She patiently tailed from afar without coming to a close, just as she sensed the woman wasn't too far from her final destination and that she was finally able to catch up to her. She suddenly caught the scent of a sweet, ethereal fragrance. Shio's mind went into a daze amidst the fragrance before she completely lost track of her target. As for the fragrance, it had vanished, and though it had never appeared, Shio pupils widened slightly. She didn't dare to search her surroundings for any traces. Inside her rental apartment, Tristy was a gentle and sweet face that made one unable to resist looking at her. Looking at the mirror's reflection, Charmaine said, looking at the mirror reflecting Charmaine and said, you seem to be in a good mood. Is it Tristy talking to her? How was it? The final mission isn't too unacceptable, right? Oh, that was the mission, to get close to him. It did not resemble that? How was it? The final mission isn't too unacceptable, right? Once you complete it, you can leave Backland and start your own life. Charmaine was taken aback as her expression turned complicated as though she was disheartened. She's like, no, I want to stay now. It was as though she had suddenly snapped out of her dreams. She didn't turn her head as her lips quivered and replied, he said that he wishes to marry me. Tristy merely pricked up her brows. You mustn't believe a man's words during those times. You and I should know this very well. If he really wishes to marry you, he wouldn't be wary of you. He will wish to have a child with you. Did he do so? Upon hearing her question, Charmaine's mood turned sullen. So she stood up and said with a smile, I'm not stopping you from pursuing your love. If you wish to turn this temporary mission into a permanent one, you should think about what needs to be done. After ethereally finishing her sentence, she walked to the door and left the rented apartment. While heading down the staircase, Tristy suddenly noticed her shoes. She chuckled and said in a seemingly selfish, deprecating manner, love. She's doing it for love. Look at that. You know what? Fuck it. One more chapter. Fuck, this is a long chapter. Shit, no, it's a long chapter. They know since they both were men. No, it's like they know. They're like they know how, like, they know. Yeah, no, never mind. Fuck, I'm gonna stop. Yeah, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop just because the episode comes out in 20 minutes, and I have 20 minutes to, like, go eat something, and I have 20 minutes to go hug my dog before I watch this. All right, let's do overall thoughts, and tomorrow we should be back a lot earlier for more. Let's update this. I'm gonna try and wake up like at 6. I'm gonna try and wake up. I'm gonna try and do my best to just wake up at 6 in the morning and just go live. I might be a little late, but I'm gonna try and do my best to just wake up early, go live, or maybe like at 5 in the morning, go live, or maybe hit the gym first and then go live and then do my errands that I had to do for Saturday because I have a schedule. I have something planned tomorrow. Can't wait until you get to book 2. I'm fucking pumped. Wait, just there is gonna be a slight gap. There's gonna be a pretty, I wouldn't say a big gap, but there will be a gap before we start COI. Yeah, well, there probably will be a gap between LOTM and COI. He may, if not RI, username may lose control. Yeah, if not, wait, I lied. We're reading RI first thing. Oh, thank you, D. We're reading RI first thing in the morning. All right, let's do overall thoughts before I forget. We'll still be live for a little bit more. No. I promise you, username. This is gonna be our last chapter because we do have 20 minutes before the episode drops on Crunchyroll. And yes, first thing tomorrow morning, we are reading RI because I have been keeping username waiting, and then Shadow Slave, like 5 chapters of Shadow Slave. I think we can do that. Well, going back to this, I'm sorry I've only been live for like an hour. Sure, we'll find out. We'll find out tomorrow. Only one way to find out. I do apologize. We only streamed like an hour today. We could have been live for like 3 hours, but I was like 2.5 hours late. Just I was out a lot longer than I had planned. But we're here. Luckily, we knocked out 4 chapters. I still don't forgive you for Shadow Slave. I know I kept you up, and I know because we're on different time zones. It was pretty fucked up. I know. I'm sorry, username. I know. You ain't never gonna let that one go, huh? Well, point is, I didn't realize I was gonna cry this stream. I didn't realize I was gonna cry because we went back to Blackthorn Security Company. We met a lot of old faces, right? And then not only that, we fucking ran into Melissa. Holy shit. That was so good. And then fucking Klein just looks at her and smiles and he's like, not bad. Oh, man. And then it's like, he's smiling. And then Audrey noticed. I think Audrey noticed his facial expression. I think Audrey noticed that he had a genuine smile and not like a fake smile. And then that's why she probably stole a glance at Klein. And that's why Cuttlefish didn't double down and talk about his reaction. All Cuttlefish wrote, Audrey stole a glance at Klein. And we didn't see Klein's reaction. He was probably doing like a bittersweet smile after. He's like, oh man, it really is her. Bro's gonna cry when seeing the episode to seeing the OG squad. Oh man, it's gonna be sad, dude. No, man, I don't know. I'm gonna be sad. I don't know, man. It's like, we still have a few more deaths in the Donghua. We still got a few more deaths, man. We got a few more deaths, and we still got to meet a few more characters. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm going to let you guys go. You guys have a beautiful day. And don't forget, tomorrow, look, we should be live. From the people watching the live stream, we should be live in like 12 hours, give or take. We should be live in like 12 hours, give or take. Maybe plus minus an hour or 2. But in roughly 12 hours from now, we should be live. So peace. Have a beautiful day. Because episode 10 is about to drop in like 15 minutes. And we're going to peak that. Because the missus all of a sudden wants to play The Last of Us right here on this TV. When I'm reacting. She's like, you got 30 minutes. I need more than 30 minutes. The episodes are 30 minutes. I ramble way too long. I'm going to need like an hour minimum. And then depending on like what happens, I might need more than an hour. But yeah, thank you, D. Thank you for helping with my outro. Peace. Have a beautiful day. And I'll see you guys all next time. Later, guys. Did we start recording? Oh, yeah, look at that. Thank you, Stream Deck. All right. Later, guys. Love you all. I'll see you guys soon in roughly 12 hours. And if we just stop playing and I have more free time, I will do my best to read a little bit of Shadow Slave off stream tonight before I go to bed. That way we can like min-max. But later, guys. Peace.